First, we're working developing news in campaign 2012.
Stunning allegations from District 1 congressional candidate Anthony Gemma. The Democrat is accusing his incumbent challenger, David Cicilline's camp, of voter fraud.
We have in-depth coverage tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Catherine Sotnick just spoke to our political analyst to see what impact this could have on the election.
First, we go to Target 12 investigator Tim White.
It's not uncommon this time of year for wild accusations to fly, but these allegations are stunning and extensive. So far, unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud and rigging elections.
Whether or not I prevail in the 2012 election.
In a packed spectacle of a news conference, 1st Congressional District candidate Anthony Gemma announced he hired a private investigative firm made up of retired state police detectives, and he claims they've uncovered evidence of voter fraud.
The common denominator that runs through the vast majority of the mountain of evidence that TRP gathered is David Cicilline.
Gemma claims the fraud was perpetrated by members of David Cicilline's campaign from 2002 to 2010. Those allegations include paying people to vote multiple times under assumed names, abusing the absentee ballot system, using the names of the deceased to vote, and coaxing underage individuals to fill out a ballot. All of these allegations were centered in Providence.
Either David Cicilline, beginning in 2002 and continue to this day, knowingly committed voter fraud on a massive scale, or David Cicilline is so incompetent a leader that he cannot recognize the massive levels of criminality taking place before his very eyes.
Gemma answered a handful of questions and then was whisked away by his staffers. So what evidence does he have? Well, Gemma's campaign handed out signed affidavits they say come from people who witnessed the alleged fraud, but they blacked out the name, saying it was for their safety.
Fortunately, I think Rhode Islanders know the difference between fact and fiction, and that was fiction.
Congressman David Cicilline says neither he nor anyone from his staff has been approached by law enforcement.
He did not produce a single shred of evidence because it doesn't exist, because it didn't happen. And I think it was a very bizarre press conference. I think it was outrageous that he engaged in that sort of behavior.
Gemma claims evidence was presented to the FBI, and he says the state police have picked up the investigation. I spoke with State Police Colonel Stephen O'Donnell. He tells me it would be unfair and inappropriate to confirm if the state police are investigating. Live with the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, Eyewitness News.
The finance chairman of the Republican Party in Rhode Island, Daniel Harrop, issued the following statement in response to Gemma's allegations. He said, quote, I disagree with the congressman on almost everything, and I'm working hard to have Brendan Doherty replace him. I don't believe for a second that Mr. Cicilline and his team were crazy enough to buy votes against me. Harrop ran against Cicilline in the 2006 mayor's race.